back to the 33 strategies of war. Today we have the 16th strategy of war. Hit them where it hurts, the center of gravity strategy. Everyone has a source of power on which he or she depends. When you look at your rivals, search below the surface for that source, the center of gravity that holds the entire structure together. That center can be their wealth, their popularity, a key position, a winning strategy. Hitting them there will inflict disproportionate pain. Find what the other side most cherishes and protects. That is where you must strike. This is a brilliant strategy because this is one that basically defines the entire art of jiu-jitsu, the entire science of leverage of the body and how to use that against your opponent. And I think it's extremely interesting because there are certain techniques in jiu-jitsu that work just like this, simply because you're taking advantage of the person's center of gravity being a little too far this way, a little too far that way. And when you try to sweep them, when you move them, they move like they weigh 10 pounds and they might weigh 300 pounds. And it's truly impressive to see just the physics behind it, but this can also work in your real life existence. This can also work in the business sphere. This can also work in the interpersonal relationship sphere. It can also work in terms of conflict. Like, each person has a chink in their armor. Each person has something that if you go after, they will get very up in arms. They will get very upset. They will get very angry. They will most likely not be able to come back for this. For the longest time for me, it was if you make fun of my hairline, I would get very upset. I'd get very angry. I would take it to heart, and you probably win the argument. Right now, I don't really care anymore. So it's like, you don't really have that leg up on me, but we all have a characteristic, a trait, something in our lives that we're very sensitive about. And when we hit on this, it's something that I wouldn't urge doing on people unless it's really necessary, but we all have that one friend that has that one insecurity that you shouldn't bring up unless you're ready to fight. And just being able to recognize this, being able to use this when the time comes, especially in those brutal conflicts. I'm not saying this is something you should rely on day after day after day, but there are times in this world where you're going to have to be engaged in conflict. There are times in this world where you're going to have to do something that is against your normal moral compass, and it's all about being strategic in it and knowing when to strike and knowing the target to strike, because I'm not going to go after someone in their strongest category. When I'm fighting someone, I'm not going to go after a position that they are much better in versus one that they're much worse in, or versus one that I can easily get a quick defeat in. It's it's very when we approach conflict, we like to just think that the stronger person always wins, but that's not always true. It's the stronger person unless they are going against a tact strategist, someone that knows the game, someone that knows the push and pull, someone knows the art of war and understands that it's not just about pure strength. It's about pure strength in the opponent's weakness that will create that victory, that will create that instant win. Because the sad thing about it is most people don't understand that conflict takes a toll on both people, and it's all about preserving yourself and destroying the enemy, and not exchanging casualties, not ruining your reputation, bringing someone down in the office, not ruining your reputation, firing someone that has been at your job for the longest time. It's all about how clean can you be after the battle? How much damage did you take through the course of that war? And it's think about a UFC fighter that wins a brutal fight. You know what? Maybe they won a fight, maybe they got a nice purse, maybe they got a nice win bonus, but at the same time, they took so much damage they can't fight for a year or two. Is that really worth it in the long run? Or would it have been smarter for them to have a boring decision and been able to fight again in 6 months, and then after that fight in 6 months, they can fight again and again? They got 4 fights instead of 1 because they chose a better strategy. They chose to remain clean after the battle, remain clean and casualty free after these engagements. And this is just another useful strategy to understand, because when you can take advantage of a point of leverage on someone, you can easily just take advantage of this advantage. And it's something to be really considered. And I don't know, this book is very cool because it can be taken in a purely physical element of things. It could be taken in a purely, in this military engagement you must do this, or it could be taken in the business world or just in the world of interpersonal conflicts. And I think it's a nice extension of the 48 Laws of Power, because it takes the more conflict-based laws, and it breaks them down into much different categories and kind of teaches you the push-pull, the give and take, and it teaches you the things to recognize and the things to exploit when it comes to conflict. And it's not necessarily like a book to be like, oh yes, you're going to become a brutal dictator, you're going to be able to do this, you're going to be able to do it. No, it's like when the time comes, when the conflict arises, like just be smart about it. And if you're smart about conflict, if you're smart about engagements, if you're smart about arguments, and when these things arise inevitably, like you're just going to come off and you're going to, be able to deal with your life much easier, much better, because conflict sucks, and it's all about engaging in a smart way and engaging in a responsible way. So I will link this book in the description. If you want more from me, go ahead, join my Discord. If you want even more from me, go ahead, join my school community. Love you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you next one.